Gonna get the meeting started. This is the October 19th, 2020 meeting of the Zoning Board of Appeals. I'd like to start the meeting by saying the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Ray. Before I read any of the, I'm going to read how I'm going to run the meeting, and then I'll get the meeting started. So again, welcome to the October 19th meeting of the Zoning Board of Appeals. I'm going to explain how I'm going to run the meeting. First, I ask that everyone that can please mute your microphone to keep the background noise to a minimum and unmute when it is your turn to speak. I will do a roll call of all board members present, and I'll do a second roll call to announce the voting members for today's meeting. Once I call your application number, I will then ask our secretary to read all correspondence to your application. When that is complete, I will welcome you and ask that you state your name and address for the record. After that, I'll give you the floor to explain your application. Once you have completed your application presentation, I will then call on the board members one at a time by name to ask if they have any questions for you. After that, I will go to the public and call on them one at a time for comments. Once the public comments are complete, I will ask the applicant if they have anything further to add before I close the public hearing and open it up to comments and action from the board. At that time, I will call on the voting members one at a time to ask if they have any further comments. After that, I'll ask for a motion and a second. Then I will run a roll call vote from voting members, then present the results to the applicant. Anytime during the meeting, if anyone has something further to add, you can use the chat feature or raise your hand and I will call on. Tonight's decision will be published in the Record Journal on Friday, October 23rd, 2020. The effective date of your variance will be Friday, October 23rd, 2020. The date a certified copy is recorded on the land records. The statutory 15-day appeal period will expire on Sunday, November 8th, 2020. If you commence operations and/or construction during the appeal period, you do so at your own risk. So who we have present tonight for members of the Zoning Board of Appeals? We have Sam Carmody, Tom Wolfer, Karen Harris, Bob Parisi, Lou Sherwinski, Ray Rise, and Joe Russick, me as chairman. Voting tonight will be Sam Carmody, Lou Sherwinski, Tom Wolfer, Ray Rise, and myself. That's 5 members. Good. First application, is there anybody here for application 20-021, variance request for Williams? I don't see anybody. Next application, 20-022, variance request for Zhang for 600 Williams Road. Is there anybody here for that? I don't see anybody for that. Okay, next variance, application number 20-023, a variance request for Antonelli. Is there anybody here for that?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Hold on 1 second. For a side yard of 11.2 feet, from building coverage to 17%, front yard of 38.9 feet, to construct a 340 square foot single story addition, 11 Leondina Road in an R18 district. Mr. Secretary, do you have any correspondence?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, thank you. So for application 20-023, side yard, front yard, building coverage variance, Antonelli, 11 Leondina Road. Applicant proposes a side yard setback of 11.2 feet where 20 feet is required and 25.1 feet exists. A front yard of 38.9 feet where 36.9 feet exists and 40 feet is required. And building coverage of 17% where 14% exists and a maximum 15% is permitted in order to construct.
I got a problem with it. I got a problem with the connection.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, go ahead, Luke, you continue.
Excuse me. To construct a ground level.
I don't see any, I don't know.
Excuse me. Can everybody mute their microphones?
Yeah, it's gotta be caller. Try it now, Lou.
Is he unmuted though?
Lou, are you still there? We can't hear you.
Lou is on mute.
Yeah, I think he was, hold on. Lou, are you caller 2 also?
I might be.
Yeah, okay, all right, I can see what you're doing. All right, continue. I muted you. I didn't know where that noise was coming from. Go ahead, sorry about that.
Okay. All right, no worries. To construct a ground level, single story, 34 square foot addition at 11 Leondina Road in an R18 district. Dwelling is a split level design. An applicant requests variance in order to create an accessible bedroom and bath ground level. Any associated ramps for means of entry and egress require no zoning approval. And that's it.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Okay, welcome. And please, with the applicant, please state your name and address for the record.
My name is Pam Grazioso, and my address is 11 Wall Street, Wallingford.
Okay. Could you explain the application?
The application is for, what do I say? For the addition,
Yes.
to add a bedroom and a bathroom.
Okay. And I'll try and help you out here a little bit. So I understand that that the gentleman that living here needs to make it more accessible and more room on the first floor for his handicap issue, right?
Yes. So we're hoping to get a handicap accessible bedroom and bathroom. My father has ALS, and he would like to be able to live on this first floor of the house. And by adding the bathroom and the bedroom, he would be able to do that.
Very much understandable. Okay, it's pretty straightforward for us. Let me just ask any of the commissioners if they have any questions. Mr. Carmody, Sam, do you have any questions for the applicant? No. How about you, Tom? You got any questions for the applicant?
Negative.
Okay, go to the other side. Karen, do you have any questions for the applicant? No. How about you, Mr. Parisi?
No.
Okay, Ray Rise?
No.
Okay, and I don't either. Is there anybody here to speak in favor of the applicant? Anybody here to speak against the application? Hearing none, do you have anything further would you like to add to the app before I close the public hearing?
Anything else to add? No, I don't think
Okay.
so.
That's fine. We'll close the public hearing and open it up for discussion and possible action by the board. I see this as a straightforward application for making it more handicap accessible, so I'm in favor of it. Does anybody want to add a comment, or do we want to go straight to a vote?
Vote.
Go to a vote? Okay. I need to get a motion in a second.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion for variance for side yard of 11.2 feet to construct a single-story addition to 11 Adina Road as shown on the submitted plans received on 9/18/20 and property survey showing proposed addition property of Antonelli dated 9/4/2020, subjected to conditions or comments from Eric Kruger, Senior Engineer, Water Division, dated October 8th of this year. So moved.
Second.
Okay, motion to approve
Side yard.
for the side yard. Sam,
Yes to approve.
Tom,
Yes to approve.
Lou,
Yes to approve.
Ray,
Yes.
and I vote yes. So the side yard variance has been approved.
Okay, I make a motion for variance request for front yard of 38.9 feet to construct a single-story addition to 11 Landina Road as shown on submitted plans received 9/18/20 and property surveying showing proposed addition property of Anthony Antonelli dated 9/4/2020, subjected to comments from Eric Kruger, the Senior Engineer, Water Sewer Division, dated October 8th, 2020. So moved.
Second.
Motion to approve. Sam,
Yes.
Tom Wolfer,
Yes to approve.
Lou Sherwinski,
Yes to approve.
Ray Rise,
Yes to approve.
and I say yes too. The front yard variance has been approved.
And now a variance for building coverage of 17% to construct a single-story addition to 11 Leondina Road as shown on submitted plans received September 18th, 2020, and property surveying showing proposed addition property of Anthony Antonelli dated September 4th, 2020, subjected to comments from Eric Kruger, Senior Engineer, Water and Sewer Division, dated October 8th, 2020. So moved.
Second.
Okay, we got a second. Motion to approve. Sam,
Yes to approve.
Tom Wolfer,
Yes to approve.
Lou Sherwinski,
Yes to approve.
Ray Rise,
Yes to approve.
and I vote yes. Your application's been approved. You're all set.
Okay, thank you. I did want to say that Alan Fredrickson, who is part of the meeting right now, he did want to speak on my father's behalf, but for whatever reason, he's having a bad connection. I don't know if he put something in the chat. I think he may have. So he was just texting me saying that he was not able to speak at all. So I don't know if there's anything in the chat.
I didn't see anything in the chat, so at any rate, you're all set, and
Okay.
thank you.
Thank
Okay?
you so much. Yep, thank
Okay,
you.
wish your dad the best.
All right, thank you.
Okay, next application is 20-024, variance request for Urba. 1465 Puddle Avenue. Mr. Secretary, do we have any correspondence?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. In regards to application 20-024, variance request, front yard setback, Urba 1465 Tuttle Avenue. Applicant proposes a front yard setback of 39.74 feet, where 50 feet is required, and 39.74 feet exists at its minimum to construct a 22-foot by 15.1-foot single-story addition, in parentheses, 3-season room,
I can't.
to the rear of the dwelling at 1465 Puddle Avenue in an RU 40 district. Proposal also includes a 23-foot dormer to the rear of the existing dwelling above the proposed addition, thus expanding the existing dwelling vertically. Property is a corner lot with 2 front yards and non-conforming regarding front yard setbacks and lot area. Addition and dormer both require variance approval as both are an expansion of nonconformity. Let me just see if we have anything else here. There's also comments from Eric Kruger, received October 9th, water and sewer. That appears, and there's also a notice here dated October 7th with notes for them to contact the housing department and fill out a B100A, I guess, form for approval. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, I believe that's the health department, but that's fine.
Okay, oh, the health, I'm sorry.
That's good. That's just for a correction for the record. Mr. Urba, welcome to the meeting.
Thank you. How are we doing?
Good, you?
Good, thanks.
Please give us your, state your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Frank Urba. I'm the contractor on behalf of the customers at 1465 Puddle Ave.
Okay, could you explain the application, please?
So as you said, it's an R40 setback. We're looking at the back corner of the property where actually the existing structure is currently just under 47 feet off of the property line. We're looking to go straight up vertically with a dormer, so we're not expanding on any of the property lines or staying within the confines of the existing house. Currently, directly that on the rear of the property, there's a patio. Not that that matters much to zoning, but atop that patio, we're going to be framing a 3-season room, same width, 23 feet by approximately 16 feet off the back of the home.
Okay, so you're gonna be putting an addition on and then also the 3-season room.
Correct, yes.
Okay,
Dormer.
and the dormer. Okay,
A dormer and 3-season room.
okay. And you're not changing any of the setbacks. Everything is gonna be the same because that's where the house is and.
Correct. The 3-season room actually fades further away from the property line. The front corner of the house is 47. We should be set in from the edge of the house on our dormer by a couple of feet. And the 3-season room should be flush to that wall. So it's not going to encroach, closer than 47 feet, which again is the current setback on the house.
Very good. Yeah. Very nice. Okay. Does any of the commissioners have a question? Sam?
No questions.
Okay. Tom Wolford, do you have any questions?
None, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Karen, do you have any questions?
No questions, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Parisi, do you have any questions?
Mr. Chairman, the dormer and the dormer requires a variance approval.
Correct, because anything you're doing, because they're already inside the setback, the regulation for 50 feet, they would need variance approval for anything they do.
All right, so we're covering that then.
Correct.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You're welcome. Lou, do you have any questions for the applicant?
I do not, Mr. Chairman, thank you.
Okay. Mr. Rise, do you have any questions?
No questions.
Okay. Is there anybody here speak in favor of this application? Anybody here speak against this application? Hearing none, Mr. Urba, do you have anything you want to add before I close the public hearing?
I don't think so. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to close the public hearing and open up for discussion and possible action from the board. My comment is it seems like a pretty straightforward. The house was built probably before that zoning changed and the setbacks and everything. So it looks like a pretty nice plan that they have. So I don't have any. Does anybody have any questions or want to add any comment? Tom?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. I'd just like to extend my, I should say, appreciation to Paul Reynolds for doing such a great job in this area of town. Many of the places that he has helped add on to because of the unconformity of the zone to begin with, has done a great job. And I see no further, I have no further questions on it other than good job, Paul.
Thank you. Lou Sherwinski, do you have anything you want to add?
No, I echo your statement. Seems pretty straightforward. So I'm good.
Okay, Mr. Rise, you got anything you want to add?
No,
Okay, can I get a motion in a second, please?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion on application 20-024 Urba 1465 Puddle Avenue. Variance request for front yard of 39.74 feet to construct an addition, in parentheses, 3-season room and dormer, which is a vertical expansion at 1465 Puddle Avenue as shown on submitted plans received September 18th, 2020, and proposed plot plan, land of Christine and Robert Lavolsi, 1465 Puddle Avenue, dated September 17th, 2020, subject to comments from Eric Kruger, Senior Engineer, Water and Sewer Division, dated October 8th, 2020, and also comments from the Health Department received October 7th, 2020.
Second.
We got a motion and a second. Motion to approve. Sam?
Yes to approve.
Tom Wolfer?
Yes, to approve.
Lou Sherwinski?
Yes to approve.
Ray Rise?
yes to approve.
And I vote yes. Your application's been approved.
Great, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Paul. Appreciate the work.
You're welcome.
Have a good.
Next application is 20-025, variance request for Lukides. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong, for a side yard of 7.93 feet at 54 Ridgeland Circle. Mr. Secretary, do we have any correspondence?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, thank you. In regards to application 20-025, variance request for side yard setback, Lukides, 54 Ridgeland Circle. Applicant requests side yard setback of 7.93 feet, where 8.63 feet exists and 20 feet is required to construct a single-story addition, in parentheses, screen porch, to the rear of the dwelling at 54 Ridgeland Circle in an R18 district. Property predates zoning and has existing non-conforming side yard setback. Proposal is to expand existing nonconformity to the rear to add a single-story, 394 square foot screen porch where there is an existing patio the applicant proposes to replace with addition. The board should consider that alternate complement locations on the parcel for constructing same addition, therefore hardship is questionable. And then there's also the correspondence from Water and Sewer dated September 10th, and the Health Department dated October 9th. Strike that. No, not from the Health Department. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Okay, welcome. Please state your name and address for the record.
Hi, my name is David Gaetano, Mr. Chairman. I am the contractor for the construction of the 1.5 season screen porch. Basically, what we're doing is going to add a screen porch to an existing slab that's been there when the home was purchased. Back when the Lukides purchased it, there was a screen porch there that was built on it that was dilapidated and fallen apart. They took it down, and then years later, we're revisiting this to build them another screen porch.
Okay. It's just I mean, I understand that the house was built, predates zoning and, you're playing with the card you're dealt, but, if you look at putting it anywhere else, so you wouldn't need the variance.
Yeah, unfortunately, the way that the house is laid up in the back, I mean, they don't want to necessarily have to separate it from the home. They want to be
Okay.
able to walk out into the, the patio if it's raining or whatnot, and it be covered. There was a question of, can it go, if you're looking at the back of the house, can it go to the left? But then it would cover all the bedroom windows, and they also have a pool that they put up and take down during the summer that goes in that same location for their children. It's just, that would be the idea. And plus the slab is already there. So it seems like, the perfect spot to really put this screened in porch. And the other thing is too, is that the existing garage, would stick out a foot past, or should I say the structure it wouldn't be the furthest structure to the sideline. The garage would still be furthest to the sideline setback, than the structure would be.
Okay, yeah, I see that in the print. I understand what you're talking about. It just gets a
Yeah.
little close the further you go back, that's all.
Yeah.
A little closer, but, I understand. No, okay, I had to ask the question, just wondering if you looked at another place that you wouldn't need the variance, but, like you're saying, the concrete slab is there.
Yes, sir.
Makes sense. Has anybody got any questions? Sam, do you have any questions? Tom Wolford, do you have any questions for the applicant? Okay, Karen, do you have any questions for the applicant?
Yes, I just wondered, how long ago was the screen porch that was there before? How long ago was that taken down?
I am not sure. I mean, I know they bought the house, I believe, close to 20 years ago. But they said when they had purchased the home, there used to be one there. Whether or not there was permits or anything taken out before they moved in, I'm not sure of that.
Okay, so at some point, probably over the last 10 years or so, that screen porch had been removed, been taken down.
Yeah, it was taken down because of danger purposes. I guess the roof was caving on it at some point. So they had mentioned to us that, they the husband wound up taking it apart.
Yeah, okay, so there had been a structure there previously.
There was a structure there, yeah, when they originally bought the house, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mr. Parisi, do you have any questions for the applicant?
No questions, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Mr. Shawinski, do you have any questions for the applicant?
No, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Rise?
No, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Do you have anything further you'd like to add to the application, Mr. Gaetano, before I close the public hearing and open it up for discussion and possible action?
No, that would be it. Thank you.
Okay. Is there anybody here to speak in favor of this application? Is anybody here to speak against the application? Hearing none, I'm going to close the public hearing and open up the discussion and possible action. I don't see a problem with this application. Again, the house predates zoning for that area, and the slab is there, and there was a screened-in porch there. So again, I don't have a problem with it. Does anybody want to comment, or we just want to go to a vote?
Go to vote.
Okay, can I get a motion in a second, please?
I'll make a motion for variance requests for side yard of 7.93 feet to construct an addition to 54 Ridgeland Circle as shown on submitted plans received October 13, 2020, and proposed plot plan, land of John and Darlene Lokaitis, 54 Ridgeland Circle dated 9/14/20, subjected to comments from Eric Kruger of the Senior Engineer Water Division dated October 8th of this year, and comments from the Health Department received October 7th of 2020. So moved.
Second.
Okay, I got a motion and a second. Motion to approve. Sam?
Yes to approve.
Tom Wolford? Tom, you there? No. Lou,
Yes, to approve.
Ray,
Yes, to approve.
Karen, could you vote for Tom? We're just gonna have Karen Harris sit in and vote for Tom since Tom's off the screen for right now, please.
Sure, yes to approve.
Thank you. And I vote yes. Application's been approved.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, board members, and thank you, Paul, very much. Take care.
Okay, next application is 20-026, variance request for Francisquino, 20 Southside Drive. Mr. Secretary, do we have any correspondence?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, in regards to application 20-026, variance request, side yard and building coverage for Francisquino, 20 Southside Drive. Applicant proposes a plus or minus 300 square foot addition to the rear of the property. Addition is proposed as a 4-season porch to be common space between primary dwelling and accessory apartment. Submitted plan and photos from August 2020 variance application and lack of building elevation plans identify no means of egress/entry from the exterior of the residence nor means of access from the primary dwelling. Addition appears to eliminate or have to accommodate Bilco door access to the basement and appears to need to accommodate different heights. Without direct access to the primary dwelling, the proposed addition would be an expansion of the accessory apartment and would not be permitted. This office cannot support the proposed addition as presented, as there is no associated hardship and does not comply with the regulations regarding accessory apartments. Furthermore, the property has received variance approval to exceed maximum building coverage and reduce setback requirements in the past. Applicant was denied variance approval in August 2020 for building coverage and side yard setback for similar proposal. There is no hardship associated with seeking further relief from the same zoning regulations. And we have the correspondence from Eric Kruger dated October 8th, water and sewer, and the health department note dated October 7th. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Welcome. Please state your name and address for the record.
Welcome. Paul Buckley Reynolds from Stonewall Boundaries, located at 80 Sage Drive in Wallingford. And I'm here with Kelly Francisquino, representing her and her family as we try to get this approved for her. So the first thing I want to mention is the lot itself. If you look at the drawing that I submitted, you'll see that it's a corner lot with two front setbacks of 40 feet, and then you have the two side setbacks of 20 feet. Being shaped as a triangle, there's very little space, even though there is the required 18,000 square feet for the lot. Most of that is to the front of the property. There's barely any backyard on this piece of land. I know that they were denied last month when they were proposing to add on to the accessory apartment. This proposal does not look to add on to the accessory apartment. It would be common space. It would, the basement of the residence is a finished basement, and the ingress egress would be through the bulkhead, which Kelly will get into about how that would be constructed. But there is no intention of making this part of the accessory apartment, and that is not what we are proposing to do here. At the end of the meeting last month, the board had recommended to Kelly that she go back and look at this and see what else she can do to make this more appealing to the board. And she has done so. She has set the proposed addition further away from the property line than it was back in July, or at the August meeting. At that time, she had that 9.45 feet away from the boundary line. And for this proposal, she's 12.05, where an existing 13.49 exists. And like I said already, that we're definitely not, even though the comments from staff state that we are looking to add on to the accessory apartment, we definitely are not doing so. Kelly, you have anything to add? Can't hear you, Kelly. Try that.
No, we got nothing.
Okay, well, we'll just go with me then. In terms of, she's texting me, so let's see what we got. She said she's gonna try to dial in for the meeting.
Okay.
Otherwise, in terms of the plans submitted, the whole thing is, on my drawing, you'll see that the little bump out is the bulkhead on the primary residence, and that's where the ingress egress would be coming through for the common space. The family's been trying to create more space in the time of COVID, and they're just trying to have a little more space where you can enjoy the backyard together and enjoy the sunlight.
Hello? Hello?
Yeah, we got you. We're getting feedback from somewhere.
Yeah, I'm gonna walk away from my computer because I think that's where it's coming from.
Okay.
So no, I just wanted to speak to Paul's point about the finished basement, how we would do the, from the main dwelling, it's a finished basement. We would have entry into the Four Seasons sun porch from here. There would be access from the accessory apartment into the same shared space. We do have a door planned, to go to exit the room to the outside yard. So if we needed to get work into the basement, the Bilko, even though it doesn't exist, there's still access to that basement for anybody to get in there. I do have, I spoke with my neighbors. I submitted letters from each neighbor of mine in full support of the addition we're trying to do. So I don't have any, I get their support. So I'm hoping that with the modifications that we've made to pulling away from the side yard setback to making it shared space with our house, and I've complied to the board's wishes that they can grant us approval to move forward with this.
Okay. A couple questions I have. So you're going to remove the Bilko door, or is the Bilko door going to stay there?
No, the Bilko door will be removed. That will be the entryway into the shared space. And then there will be a door off of that room to get to the outside.
So I'm just trying to understand.
Yep.
You're going to do away with the Bilko door to get into the house, or the only way is to go down the stairs and the Bilko door into the basement?
Well, there'll be, so the Bilko door will be removed. There will be a door like stairs out into the new shared space. So to get into the main house from from the shared space, you'd go in the new back door into the room and then down the set of stairs into the main dwelling. So the Bilko door itself, the doors itself will be removed, but we'll have a staircase out and into this new room.
Okay. Is there going to be, so I see on your plans, there's going to be an entrance into the accessory apartment. So that there will be an entrance there. is there gonna be a door to go into the main house, first floor?
Yes, through the Bilko area, because that basement is finished, so that's the main house. So even
Right,
though
but
there's a
that's-
Bilko
but
door
that's-
there,
Right, but that's downstairs, but I'm saying, is there an entryway into the first floor from the pre-season room on the main house?
there is not.
Okay, all
There
right,
is not. It's just into our like downstairs finished basement area.
okay. I have a comment, a question for Amy. She's right here, so my question is to Amy, and it might help other board members, is what is the difference between this application that you're presenting to us now, and this is for Amy, and the difference between the application you came before us before that we denied? So I'm gonna put Amy, maybe she can explain.
Similar proposal, nothing.
So, Amy, what is the difference?
As Mr. Reynolds has mentioned, the one thing that had changed was there's a slight decrease side yard setback that was requested, but there is an increase in building coverage from the earlier application because in essence, we've drawn a footprint around the corner of the accessory apartment, thus proposing to eliminate the need for the third variance, which was originally asked for the accessory apartment add-on. It's still questionable whether this would be considered accessible to both units as far as planning and zoning would in terms of it approving an accessory apartment. So that does remain in question, but that's the only thing that's been removed from this application. And in speaking with the building official and as well, structurally, I don't know if fire marshal would have something to say about this too, but the entryway coming from the basement in may have structural issues as well as safety egress, so that may not suffice if you cannot enter directly onto the grade level of the home. This equal level as the accessory apartment is now, where the flooring would be, because right now that Bilko presents two different floor levels. So there was no plan submitted to see how this could be structurally possible, and nor whether or not it would be in keeping with the regulations regarding accessory apartments. So to sum it all up, we've dropped off a variance that we may still need from the first application. Otherwise, 6 of one, half dozen of another. We lost a couple feet, but we gained some more building coverage. And not to be lost on it is also there is a history of variance approval already on this property for numerous things, which is in keeping, and that's the historical consistency from both applications.
Amy, why I got you still on, is because this is to the back of the house the way it is this going to be considered an addition for the accessory apartment or not? Because that was one of the questions from the last application. And so how does it change? I mean, I know what they're trying to do with the Bilko door, which it's not, I don't really see that as an entryway. I'm sorry, but is there anything that changed that way? So is it still, as your opinion, is this still an addition to the accessory apartment?
It remains to be seen whether that additional variance should still be requested. It is just not being requested this time. That's the only change. But yet, what it appears potentially to still be an expansion of an accessory apartment only.
Okay. Thank you. Does anybody, any of the commissioners, while we have Amy here, does anybody have any questions for Amy about this application? I see Tom, he might be interested there.
Amy, is there a exit door that is being used in this addition? You said there's a door from the regular house into the um, accessory apartment, but do we have a exit from the?
There is no entry to the main house at this point. They're proposing that the Bilko door somehow will be the entry point into the house. And then, yes, they are proposing an exit, although it doesn't show it there I don't believe it shows it on the plan, the exit stairs.
Yeah.
But there'll be an exit from certainly for fire safety and such too, an exit into the outdoors from yes, that is on the plan. An exit door, there's an entry door to this new space from the accessory apartment. And at this point, there's no means of entry into it from what is being proposed. They'd have to construct it and show how they're going to, if it could be constructed and how it could be constructed.
Well, we are proposing that the
Mr.
access.
Reynolds, Mr. Reynolds, Tom
Yeah.
has the floor right now, please.
Okay.
My question, Mr. Chairman, my question was going to be to Paul, so I'll close off and I'll let Paul address the commission. Go ahead,
Okay.
Paul.
Okay,
So the access would be, well, the Bilko doors would be eliminated. The access, the proposed addition incorporates the Bilko doors into the addition, and the doors themselves would be eliminated, and the access would be to the finished basement of the primary residence.
Walking down, it's like walking into the basement.
And
Yeah.
and you know, the reason that we don't have any plans to show that right now is because she's waiting to get approval, and of course we would have to meet the approval that is granted us. Otherwise, this could not be built. If we cannot show this as being part of the primary residence, then we wouldn't get a building permit to move ahead.
I have a couple more questions. Number one, we usually like to have a drawing of some sort, what it's going to look like, and we don't have that. But past that, the Bilko door, to me in this picture, it looks like the footing for that is about grade. So how are we going to how are you planning on making this work? Is there going to be a step up into the accessory apartment because of the difference in grade?
So yes, so the plan is to carry out the step and then bring it up, steps up into the shared space. So it won't be directly walking out. There will be steps up into it from into the new addition from the finished basement. It'll be steps up. So it's the same height as the existing house. We're not going to go any higher. We're not going to go any longer. We're not going to go any. It's going to be same height as what we already have.
So my final question is, what is the hardship?
The hardship is the lot itself. The fact that this meets the 18,000 square feet requirement, but it's a corner lot, so it has the two front requirements of 40 feet. So that pushes the house way back to begin with. And then you have the two 20-foot side setbacks. And that is why the other variants that were requested for this lot were granted in the past was due to the shape of the parcel itself. If you went and walked into their backyard, you'd see that they really don't have that much of a backyard and never did have that much of a backyard because of the unique shape of the property itself and the fact that that house was pushed so far back onto the piece of land.
Right. The problem being is I'm not seeing a hardship. It's a self-inflicted hardship, and there is, if you wanted to, there could possibly be other places to add this on to the back of the house, in my view. with possibly not needing a variance. So,
Well,
but,
we couldn't,
Or-
oh, remember, I'm sorry.
Already.
I'm sorry?
No, sorry, Mr. Chairman, I cut you off. I didn't mean to.
So that's where I'm at. Let me open this up to the commissioners if anybody's got any questions. Sam, do you have any questions for the applicant?
Not at the moment, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, how about you, Tom Wolf? You got any questions for the applicant? You're muted, Tom.
Everybody's muted.
Tom, can you unmute?
I'm not muted. I can't hear you.
Is your phone mute?
No, it's not.
Oh.
Can you hear me, Mr. Chairman?
I got you, Bob. I'm trying to get Tom. Tom's still muted for some reason.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. Well, we'll go on. Karen, do you have any questions for the applicant?
No, I think you've covered all of my concerns.
Okay. Mr. Parisi, do you have any questions for the applicant?
No, Mr. Chairman, I think you covered most of them.
All right, thank you. Lou Shawinski, do you have any questions for the applicant?
I do, and I just want to make sure I understand what I'm looking at here on the map and the proposed drawing. So there's going to be a door to this addition or structure, and then there's going to be a door into the accessory apartment, and then the Bilco area is going to be essentially converted into an entry / exit in that leads down to the basement of the existing house. Do I have that right?
So
Yeah.
the Bilco door, yes, the Bilco door is going to be the entryway from the main dwelling into the said addition. There is a door from the accessory apartment into the same space, and then there is a doorway to the outside.
So the Bilco area goes down obviously to the basement, right? So that entry into the new structure goes directly to the basement of the existing house, correct?
Yes, the finished basement, yes.
Thank you. That's all I have.
And the
Okay.
other thing about this addition, which hasn't been brought up, is its location is primarily going to be where an existing wooden deck is presently. So there's already an open deck that is in that location for at least 75% of where we're proposing this addition to be.
Okay, Tom Wolfer, I see you're unmuted now. Do you have any questions for the applicant?
Not at this time, Mr. Chairman.
There you go. Good to hear you.
Here. Let's see.
Ray Rice, do you have any questions for the applicant?
No.
Okay, Amy, do you have anything further you'd like to add?
I'm just going to reiterate that we, all this discussion about whether or not there's a need for an accessory apartment expansion or oversized accessory apartment, it is actually a moot point. Because as we speak of hardships, the lot and such size, non-conforming was the basis for granting 3 of these very same variances in the past to this property. So we're asking for more. So that kind of negates the hardship. We've already sort of exhausted the hardship with the land. So just to be mindful that there was a side front and building coverage variance already issued to this property to construct what we have. And we're returning 15 years later to get some more. So I question the board to find hardship with the land, with whether it be corner lot or otherwise. Just for the record, that should be first and foremost, whether or not there's an additional variance necessary or not. Thank you.
Thank you, Amy. You guys, Paul, do you have anything further you'd like to add?
Well, she mentioned that there were 3 proposed variants that were granted. In my research, I only came up with two instead of 3. They never had to get a variance for building coverage based on my research. Amy might have something different, but back when they originally went for the variance, they got a front and a side setback variance. That's all.
The
And at that
application,
time, there was no-
the application
at that-
references 3 variances, and currently the property is over on building coverage as a result of those earlier additions. You're asking to go further over. So there is it's currently at 16.8%, 15% is the max. So we already were granted additional variances to go over. So again, it was presented on the application. And also that, if we want to reference the earlier application from 2 months ago, that there was a misrepresentation of what that space was, and the accessory apartment was granted in arrears after the fact, because the addition was proposed to have been some expanded living space for the main dwelling, and it actually was an accessory apartment. So there's the history. Just food for thought, some more for the board to, again, speaking to the hardship, it does warrant mentioning that there doesn't appear to be this round.
Thank you.
So if I may just address a couple things. So
Sure.
to Paul's point of the expansion in the back for the addition in the back, some of it is the existing deck area, which is already taken up in the space. The rest is to the empty space between the accessory apartment and the main dwelling porch. So we're not going further into the yard. I do have both neighbors' approval that they're on board. So I understand the hardship with the land. Nobody's forcing this on anybody. My neighbors are okay with it, and they're existing. If anybody wants to buy my house in the future, or my neighbors want to sell, if they don't like the look of the lot, then they don't proceed to purchase. So what we are with today, everybody's on board with what we want to do. As far as the accessory apartment, so when the addition was put on in 1985, it was put on for additional living space. And then when my parents retired, I went to the town and I had the accessory apartment legalized because we put in the bathroom and the sink and the kitchen for them. So that, when they initially did the addition in 85, it was additional living space. And when they retired, and this was all done for them so that they can stay in the house that they built in 1965, and that they don't have to go move somewhere else. So we get, the whole social distancing aspect. We need more space as a family, and this is going to give me more space and access to a porch. I mean, it's going to be used by everybody. So again, hardship, the corner lot, the hardship of the world we live in today. Everybody's on board. My neighbors are on board. I'm on board. I just can't seem to get the town to approve me to let me build on my lot. And just to keep in my, I'm not going taller. I'm not going out further. It's all confined into an existing space. So that's all I have to add. So I'm pleading and begging with the members of the board to let me proceed.
The Francescino family that currently occupies this land is 3 generations. So we're looking at a 3-generation family living in this space right now. And that's why the small area that they're looking for common space is being requested. They have the older generation, they have Kelly's generation, and they have a younger generation.
Okay. Has anybody got any further questions? I don't see anybody. Tom, you all set?
Yes, I lost the picture again, Mr. Chairman. I apologize for it, but I do appreciate you remembering me that I'm still here. Is the audio still good for you?
You're good. We even got you on picture too, so you're good.
Oh, okay. As Paul said, he couldn't get any approval on the, I'm thinking about the fire marshal end of it. You know, should the fire marshal, he can't approve something off a plan unless he sees it physically there. Is that correct?
I would think so. I mean, I would imagine the building department would want to look at it too, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I just think that there's too many. Go ahead, Paul.
I was just gonna say, yes, in terms of moving ahead with a building permit, that would be the next step after the granting of the variances. But, you know, the other town officials involved would have their say before anything got done, including the fire marshal and the building department.
Are you good, Tom?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Has anybody else got any questions for the applicant? Yes, everybody's good. Is there anybody here to speak in favor of this application?
Aside from the two letters, there's nobody else present.
Anybody here to speak against the application? Paul or Mrs. Franciscino, do you have anything further you want to add before I close the public hearing and open up for discussion and possible action by the board?
Not at this time. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to close the public hearing and open it up for discussion and possible action by the board. I'm still having a problem with this application. I don't see the hardship, and truthfully, I don't see this being much more different than the application we denied a couple months ago. And I think it's a stretch using the low-code door as an entrance into the main building, main living space. But that's just me. Anybody else want to make a comment, or do you want to go to a vote?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I would just like, I have no vote tonight, but I'd like to be on the record that this commission is sometimes very difficult because the rules aren't always easy to apply. However, I'm inclined to agree with the report from our staff and your own position. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Bob. So does anybody want to make a motion? Nobody wants to make a motion?
Good night.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
make a motion, the variance request for a side yard of 12.05 feet to construct an addition at 20 Southside Drive on proposed plot plan, land of Kelly and Anthony Franciscino, 20 Southside Drive, dated 9/17/20, subject to one, full access created from primary dwelling to proposed addition. Comments from Eric Kruger, Senior Engineer, Water and Sewer, and comments from the Health Department.
Thank you. Do I get a second?
I'll second that.
Okay. Motion to approve. Sam?
No to approve.
Tom?
No to approve.
Lou? I lost you, Lou. Are you there, Lou?
No, I'm here. No to approve.
Okay, great. Thank you. Ray?
No to approve.
And I also vote no. That variance for side yard has been denied. Can I get a motion for the building coverage, please?
Variance request for the building coverage of 18% to construct in addition at 20 Southside Drive as shown on proposed plot plan, land of Kelly and Anthony Francescino, 20 Southside Drive dated 9/17/20, subject to full access created from primary dwelling to proposed addition. Comments from Eric Kruger, Senior Engineer, Water and Sewer, and comments from Health Department received October 7, 2020.
Thank you. I got a motion and a second. Motion to approve. Sam?
No.
Motion to approve, Tom?
No to approve.
Lou?
No to approve.
Ray?
No to approve.
I vote no. Application's been denied. I'm just gonna quickly just go back. Is there anybody here for application 20-021? Don't hear anybody. How about application 20-022? Hearing none. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes?
Make a motion to approve the minutes, Monday, September 21st, 2020.
Second.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
discussion on the minutes.
Go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, I was quite annoyed at the under new business is what I want to discuss.
Okay.
The article that appeared in the Record Journal, Sam Carmody did a fine job in at least letting somebody know that there was a problem. And, you know, I took offense to the mayor in the letter that he sent me, saying that it is okay to come on his meetings. Number one, first of all, not every board, not every body that has representation for the citizens of this town meet in town hall for their meetings. They virtually do them, like Sam said. Conroy commented that he had no choice but to work in the public, but his presence endangers others. He stated that being there that night was unacceptable. I want to know exactly going forward, what is the plan of this board? Oh, and excuse me, and in the mayor's letter, he said that there is a new ventilating system in town hall. I would challenge him on that. In fact, I wish that I had a fact check person here that would be able to say, yes, the air quality in the town hall is better than it was 2 months ago. So I want to know going forward, what is this? What are we going to do as a board for our meetings? Are we going to have them virtually or are we going to have them in town hall?
I'll state for me, and I'll look into this after this meeting further, but I'm hoping to stay, I would like to stay virtual to the first of the year and then we'll revisit it. That's just my opinion of it. Doesn't mean that I'm going to win. I understand, after the last meeting I was not at, but it was the live meeting that everybody was there at. I do know, that afternoon of the live meeting, I was in contact. I couldn't make it work, was in the way, but a couple of you guys did contact me with your concerns, but you did go. And then the next morning, I did get calls from a few of you guys stating that if it was going to be live again, you weren't going to show. That concerned me because we are here to serve the public. And if there's another option, I think it was what we need to do so the public can be safe and they also can have, we can have our meetings and serve the public because that's what we're here for. So I did go to the planning office. I did talk to Tom Talbot and told him the concerns of the majority of the the commissioners. And here we are. I can't promise that it's going to be that way next month. I'm hoping it will. I will present again and Amy sitting here, and I'm hoping it will. I do understand what everybody, just because maybe I'm not afraid to go there, or I am, whatever, doesn't mean everybody else is. So I do respect everybody on our board, and I took it as from the last live meeting that you guys, the majority of everybody that I heard from was concerned, and that's enough for me. So I don't see the problem in doing this. I actually think maybe might be at this point in time, before we go back to the town council chambers, it might be a little bit better. But I'll see what happens. That's all I can say at this point.
But Sam, good job in bringing more people involved in this. I think it woke a lot of people up, and a nice picture in the paper still.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, I just want to, if I could say something to that, I just wanted to say thank you for working to accommodate our concerns.
Well, we're a team, and there's no I. And like, again, I got calls from you, a few of you guys and ladies, Karen and everybody that is concerned about their health. And I understand not everybody is, not that I'm young anymore, but you know, and I understand it all. So I personally don't have a problem if that's what everybody would like to do. I personally don't have a problem with it. I know from after, again, from the phone calls I received, we wouldn't have been able to have a meeting, because if we were live, not everybody was going to show up. So then we're not serving the public, and that's what we're here for. So that's it. That's all I have to say. And I'll look into November's meeting, and I'll be reporting to you guys like I normally keep in touch with you. That's all I can say.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You're welcome. So can I get a motion to approve? Yes, sir. Mr. Ray.
Did you have something else you wanted to say tonight?
Yeah, I just want to get through the minutes first, though. Can we get a motion to approve the minutes?
I made that.
Okay, motion to approve.
Yes, motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, we're in good shape. All right, what Ray was talking about is I heard from a few commissioners, sorry, that they're not going to be available, and that's including me, for the December meeting. So we won't be able to have a quorum because of the attendance issue. So at this point in time, I'll be canceling the December meeting because of an attendance issue. So there will be no December meeting for ZBA. Just so everybody, it's on the record, there is an attendance problem. We won't have a quorum.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
Okay, motion to adjourn.
So
Mr.
moved.
Chairman.
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Chairman.
Yes, sir, Mr. Parisi.
Yeah, can we sing happy birthday to Lou
Oh,
Sharonski?
thank you. Thank you. I meant to say, we need to say
To you.
happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Lou. Happy birthday to you.
To you. Good night.
Good one, Bob.
Thank you, Bob. I
Thank
meant
you,
to wish him a
everybody.
happy
Thank
birthday.
you.
Sam, you weren't
Thank you.
singing.
I sang.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you, everybody. Yeah,
You're
40.
welcome.
40.
All right, motion to adjourn. So Lou can celebrate his birthday.
So moved.
Second.
Amen.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Bye.
All right.